So I just took a humiliating defeat by the hands of Messi Madrid. So why am I celebrating? Because this week's my bye week. Just like New Year's is a time for celebration, so is going on vacation, and that's what the equivalent of the fantasy football bye week would be. The only difference is, unlike NFL bye weeks, you actually still get a win for it. As you might imagine, my opponent this week is Fram Spindum. And according to ESPN, as we begin our Week 3 preview, the Buddy Bear Big Timers have a projected score of 136, which is pretty good. It's a little lower than usual because Rodgers is against a tough Seattle defense and McFadden's against a tough Steeler defense. So the matchups are pretty tough, and Harvin's against the Niners. So they're taking a little bit of a hit on the projections. But even so, 136 is still good. And Frams is projected for 80.
That's generous.
Yeah, that's pretty generous, I think.
He didn't get it last week.
And did he get the week 1? I don't know if he did or not.
Yeah, but he's going to average less than 80 though on the season. That's for sure.
So that's pretty. It's pretty poor, and it's something that I don't know. It's just I think that he is the equivalent of a bye week right now.
In fact, we should petition Craig to change his name to bye week.
Yeah, I mean, it really. I don't know what else to say about this game. I mean, really, Aaron Rodgers and Robert Griffin III. Rodgers is clearly better, although Griffin's playing as the best quarterback in fantasy right now. So I'll give him that as a toss-up. McFadden versus Halou. DeMarco versus Beanie. Percy versus Fitzgerald.
There's a toss-up.
Well, but Fitzgerald doesn't have a quarterback, and that's a problem. Harvin doesn't either, but he doesn't need one the way they use him.
Yeah, and then Randall Cobb.
Yeah, Randall Cobb versus Des Bryant. Mike Walls versus Blackman. Witten versus Rudolph.
Bye week.
Yeah, bye week. It's just I'm going to enjoy relaxing this week after a stressful week of school and work.
Yeah, so that's the game we call the foregone conclusion game. It's probably always going to be the one that Gelhar's involved in, unless when he and Rome play, then that's kind of like...
that's going to be like, we're going to make it the game of the week just so that they both get a chance to be a game of the week.
Yeah, that's true. Now, my little brother is playing, Matt is playing against Dream Crushers this week, and overall, the Lions got this one projected at, within the realm of possibility, but Dream Crushers projected as a stronger team by about 20 or so.
23.
I could see that going Dream Crushers' way. I hate to pick against the little brother, but, with the question marks at Marcus Colston, he's a little banged up too. Just doesn't seem to be enough there to say he's got the high-end possibility. At the same time, Matthews and Roddy White are a little banged up as well, so you could see this one going either way.
But, yeah, really, I don't see how you can see it going either way. I mean, the only position he's better at is Ray Rice. Drew's better across the board, except for Ray Rice.
Now, I'm going to pick Drew.
It's not even close, though, I don't think. I think that it's a 20, 30-point gap. I mean, his receivers are far inferior. The tight end is inferior, plus Gates might not even play. The quarterback is...
As long as the injuries play out that they're a wash, then I agree. If the injuries play out in Matt's favor, then it could go either way. But he's going to need a little bit of help on this one. So we agree, Drew's the winner there. The next one is Rome against Nick, and I mean, you don't even need to look at the line to already pick the winner.
Yeah, I mean, it's let's see what they say though. I mean, they're predicting Nick to win 131 to 103. So they're predicting 100 for the Polkai Panthers.
Which you can see him scoring around 100 here and there and all that. But overall, I gotta say I'm taking Nick's team in this. Just think that overall he's got a stronger team. Manning's better than Shaw, but the rest of the matchups I'm kind of favor Nick overall.
I look at 4 positions that are better for Rome, which is actually 4 to 9, not too bad. So he could pull off an upset. I mean, the line's 28. I think it's going to be closer than that. Eli is better than Schaub. AJ Green is better than, whoever. Well, no, actually, you got to go Demarius and AJ. I think that's more of a wash now. Mm-hmm. So, but then Pitta's better than Chandler at this point, even though it's
that's a pretty obvious one. And the Niners getting to play Minnesota is a pretty significant edge over Ravens New England.
So there's an upset possibly in the making. I know Carolina's not a particularly good pass defense, and Denver's a tenacious defense, plus it's at Mile High.
I'm just going to go though with Nick's team as a stronger team. I expect the points to come. Miami's actually been really good against the run, so I don't even think Sean Green is that good of a start for Rome either.
Well, I think that Nick's the better team, but just looking at the way things match up this week, Houston, Denver's a tall order when you're trying to throw on Denver, and I just think that I'm going to call it. This is the upset. We predicted 1 or 2 wins for Rome. I think that Nick's team wins 8 or 9 out of 10, but this is the week that Romy pulls the upset.
All right, well, Nick pulled an upset last week, so if he gets upset this week, it won't upset me.
It'll be a roundabout thing.
Now, Rome's 0-2, Gelhar's 0-2, but somebody else that's 0-2 is a bit of a surprise. One of the teams we thought would be one of the best teams, and, it probably will still correct itself.
Yeah, greatest show on paper so far has been more like greatest show on toilet paper.
That's what I called him last year.
Yeah, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, he actually still has an immensely talented team, but he's running into injuries already, and it can't feel good to have to rely on Brandon Gibson to be your starter. I mean, when you're relying on the Rams number 2,
Well, the number 1's doing pretty good.
Yeah, Amendola's been on fire.
You gotta think Matt just is kicking himself for not taking Amendola.
Yeah, he cuts Hankerson, cuts Lauren Robinson, and Amendola's the number 1 scorer in fantasy right now. New Wes Welker.
You gotta think he's kicking himself for that.
Yeah, but number 2 of St. Louis isn't usually, that's not exactly a high-powered offense, and for that's a big drop from Akeem Nicks, so that might be trouble.
That might be the difference maker this week. I mean, the line's got them really close. They still have Craig favored. What's your feeling on this one?
I think Craig's going to pull the win number 1, because the thing is, his biggest hole is tight end, and I cut Martellus Bennett because I had Jared Cook and Witten already. Martellus Bennett, I think, is the real deal, much more so than Colby Fleener and when he had
Dustin Keller
before.
He's the
so
3-week explosions.
The way Bennett's looked early in the year, the first 2 weeks, he's definitely somebody that.
And I
think he might have
Greg being hurt too. You don't know exactly what Greg's going to have there. So I agree with you. I think we're agreeing on this one that Craig, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, it'll be close. I think that Craig wins by they're projected 149 to 143. I think Craig wins by maybe 5 points, but his team's too talented to stay down long. It sucks that he's not without Hakeem Nicks for him, but I think he still has enough talent on that team to pull it out.
All right, so here's one that's projected pretty close. In my game against Nathan Smith's and the
Raccoon City Sharks.
Raccoon City Sharks.
So those who don't know, Raccoon City is actually from Resident Evil because Nathan's a video game aficionado, and I'll give him a little plug just because. He's a member of our league and should get some hits. He actually has a website called retrogamingforever.com. Let me check that so I don't throw it up, because this is a special sponsorship portion here. Retro Forever. It's just retro. So www.retro4ever.com. Retro4ever.com. He's got a website that reviews a bunch of old video games from the Nintendo 64 era, PlayStation 1, original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and just like me, he's a big video game fan. In fact, he has bought several of my games, and that's where the name Raccoon City Sharks comes from.
So you're getting a sponsorship out of this?
Me?
He's buying your video games?
Oh, yeah.
And now he gets airtime?
Yeah, that's right, because I'm selling some of my games, and he always is the first one I call to buy them.
I actually get a cut out of that after the sponsorship for our show. I just want to say on the record, this is throwing me for a loop here. I'm happy about that.
We need to explain where the name Raccoon City Sharks came from, Resident Evil.
But
yeah, so all you give him lots of hits on the website so he has to keep buying more games for me to review. But anyway, so as you were saying.
Oh, we're officially corporate slaves.
Yeah.
All right, well, in this game, this is projected to be really close. I do feel like my team is the better team. It's one of those situations again, though, where now he's got Peterson going, now he's got Romo going. But
Turner actually, like I said, in the short term, is better than Sean Green.
In the short term, he is. It's going to be really a question of Greg Jennings still hurt. Is he going to be ready? Is he going to be good to go? I mean, I think if Greg Jennings has to sit,
but he's already a full participant in practice. So.
But if he's not as effective, I've definitely got an edge there.
Seattle's a tough defense too.
I still think I've got the edge overall. With Welker, I think he's going to be a little higher end this week because of Hernandez being out.
I think McGahee you got to worry about because he doesn't catch balls, and Houston is probably going to play with the lead most of that game.
Yeah.
And Houston's got a tenacious defense too.
But he and Turner can kind of wash, and Peterson can kind of wash. Just based on the fact that Sproles catches so many.
Yeah.
So I think the game's going to be close. I'm projected by 3.
ESPN 132, 129.
I think I'll win by 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think this game's pretty much too close to call. I think Breeze has got the edge against Kansas City but Romo doesn't have a tough matchup either with Tampa, and it's in Dallas, and he's also going to be really chomping at the bit to make up for last week's debacle. San Francisco, that's a tough matchup for AP. So that's about as bad as it gets there. So that's why I think you definitely are probably better off with Sproles just because of the matchup. Turner, I think, will do better than McGahee this week. McGahee, I think, has got a tall order with that matchup. But, I think Welker, at least in the short term while Hernandez is out, stands to look more like his old self. Crabtree, I'm not really high on him. Jennings is banged up. It's tough. I mean, this game, I think, is a toss-up. I think it could go either way, but since you always pick against me, I'm going to pick against you this time and say Raccoon City by 3.
All right. Now for the game of the week.
Yeah, this week's game of the week, with all apologies, it could have been great to show on paper with Messi Madrid. The problem is Craig's 0-2 record. That's the only thing that held it back. But I think that could be 1B, and this will be 1A. We have Owen goal, and it's a dry heat in one of the battles of the powers in the Beta Division. The only one that's not in the mix here is your team in Picket Fence Cartel, but they're projecting Owen to win 142 to 140. So those are two high projections, and it's a very tight game. Now, looking at the lineup here, I mean, I think Jones, Drew, and Marshawn Lynch, Richardson, Reggie Bush, that's a toss-up. Phillip Rivers and Cam Newton, that's a toss-up, although I think Newton's got the slight edge there.
Newton's got the edge, yeah.
Yeah. Calvin Johnson would have the edge over Dwayne Bowe. Vincent Jackson would have the edge over Antonio Brown. Stevie Johnson and Santonio Holmes are washes at the 3. I think Gronk is where Owen separates here. He's a lot better than Jermichael Finley, and I say that with a heavy heart because I used to love Jermichael Finley, but...
So I'd actually rather have the Packers be against Seattle than the Patriots against Baltimore. With the
but the Patriots, they're not about points, though. They're about a lot of other things that they do.
Yeah, it's and again, it's defenses.
Yeah, I think that they're so close that I think the edges will go to Owen because of Rob Gronkowski over Jermichael Finley.
And Newton over Rivers.
Yeah, and Newton over Rivers. So I think that it'll be a tight game. I'm going to say Owen by just 4 or 5 points in a nail-biter, but Kelly could very, very likely easily pull it off as well, and that's why it's the game of the week.
I think this week's game is going to surprise people. I think Kelly is going to put up about 140 to 145 points, and I think Owen's going to put up 160 to 170 again. He's going to win comfortably, but Kelly's going to end up with the second highest score of the week, and Owen's going to end up with the highest score of the week. So I think it deserves the bidding. I think that Owen's going to have another explosion week, though. I just have a feeling.
I think it's going to be tight, but I think that Owen will squeak through and keep the undefeated start the season going.
Both teams seem pretty good, though.
Yep. So to make up for the overlong video, this one's going to be a minute or two short, so we balance out to about a half hour still. That's the week 3 previews. If you have any disagreements, then tough.
You're wrong.
Tough, you're wrong. And you could leave some comments on the YouTube page. That's fine, too. But ultimately, remember, we're the experts because we have 7 championships.
Or buy some of my stuff so that I can mention your name on the show.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to talk about laundry detergents. Who's selling laundry detergents in our league?
All right. Yeah, that is another strong note to end the show on. Thank you.